Okay. So I'm going to do a little video about my pet peeves with Second Life, right? Hang on a minute. Have I got the right thing set up, right? First of all, sound. Right, microphone's working. Sorry, I wasn't switched on to my proper USB microphone earlier on, and the sound was terrible. I need to go to screen capture just a sec. Screen capture. I forgot. Yeah. Okay, so I'll tell you what my pet peeves are, so you can kind of get an idea of what is annoying me. So earlier on, I did a live stream. Oh no, actually it was a video, wasn't it? So I did this video about when you cross certain sim lines and your vehicle is disemboweled, or you get separated from the vehicle. Your avatar is attached to the vehicle. Now, when you're attached to the vehicle, the vehicle that you're in will not get automatically returned to you, right? Now here's the logistics. Here's some logistical problems with this scenario. Although I was attached to the van, I was separated by some great distance. And let's just scroll back. So there's me floating in midair. No, not here. I don't think I filmed that bit. At the very beginning, my van is on the road, but I'm floating in midair hundreds of yards away because the sim crossing decided to separate me from my van. I couldn't stand up even though I wasn't actually in the van, because as soon as you stand up, the van would have been returned to me. It would be basically confiscated, right? But another pet peeve is the fact that they call it lost and found. I never lost my vehicle. It was confiscated. Get the terminology right. You confiscated my van. You took it away from me. I didn't lose it. Anyway, so let me get on. So I'm stuck right in no man's land. Let me just mute the sound because I'm talking. So I'm trying to get back in my van. I'm in a dilemma. I'm in midair. I'm not actually in the van, but I am sitting in the van. So as soon as I tried to teleport to the van, instead of me going to the van comes to me. What? But the van's no longer on the road, so I can't drive it. And you're going to say, yeah, but that's Second Life. But that's just the trouble. It's been badly designed from its inception. From the very moment it was created, they didn't think about the fact that people would like to drive vehicles. So you can drive vehicles, but it's extremely dangerous. Well, you get your stuff back, but all it does is cause a lot of friction and annoyance to a lot of people. Now, at this point here, I was trying to move my van back to the road, and it wouldn't let me. I was dragging I was in edit mode. I was trying to move my van back to the road. This is another pet peeve, is the fact that I was not allowed to put my van back on the road. They kicked it out of the road, and I couldn't put it back, right? So I was stranded in no man's land. No man's land being a place where you don't want to be. It's simply a place you don't want to be, where you're helpless. You can't do nothing. You can't resolve any problems because of the constraints. You're basically tied up in a big pink bow or blue bow, whatever you want to call it. You're tied up. You're in restraints. This is what I don't like. Second Life is full of restraints, and it's It's a method of intimidation. It doesn't allow you to have flexibility for what you want to do. Unless you own the land, but let's face it, if you're driving across the country, you're driving across all these roads, you can't own all the land. You've got to drive across the country. You've got to be allowed to drive on the roads. So, and then I see this advertisement that they're going to bring out Second Life 2. And I'm thinking, oh my God. Are they learning anything? Have they learned any lessons from all these mistakes that they made when they first created Second Life version 1? I don't think they have. I honestly don't think they have, because... So what's my other pet peeve? I've got that many pet peeves. You see, as soon as I leave the van, as soon as I stand up, the van gets confiscated and it gets returned to me, lost and found. It wasn't lost, remember? I was in it. I managed to get back in the van, but now I can't get the damn thing back on the road. So I stand up and my van is confiscated. Now, what's the other pet peeve? Alright, there's a whole bunch of pet peeves, but another one is the shooting ranges. They use these, you've got physical weapons that fire physical bullets, but they're not obviously physical anyway. They are a script, but it uses physics, right? And physical objects will make holes in a target, for example. And when you're using a physical weapon, you can shoot at target practice, you can have bullets, and it gives you a real accurate gauge in your abilities as a marksman or markswoman in your when you're doing role playing, that is, when you're role playing as a marksman, markswoman, and you're shooting at targets, you can get accurate results, and it helps you to learn how good you are in aiming at a target, right? Now that's cool, except for the point that you go to certain sims and they don't use physical bullets, they don't use physics, they use a script. So let's say you've got a target in front of you and you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on your target, on the lines going up. Now if they used a scripted system, you could aim at 5, you could aim at 1. Doesn't make any difference, because the damage is always in the same place, because it doesn't actually use true trajectories. It uses some sort of generic script, right? The problem with that is it takes away your accuracy, your ability to improve your aim. So these particular physics or non-physical scripted weapon systems that you might think are fun are totally boring, because you go to some of these tanks and gun ranges and aircraft ranges where you're actually firing at something and you can only hit it in one spot, basically, and the actual result is you get damage that shows up, but the damage is always a clone. It's exactly the same on everything that you shoot at, irrespective of where you actually aim. Now this is where I stood up, and as soon as I did that, my vehicle was confiscated. So yeah, there's a lot of pet peeves with Second Life, and I just hope to God that they learn some lessons about this and make it more friendly for Second Life version 2 when they bring that out, because I'm not going to waste my time on it. I won't be around that long. I'm too freaking old as it is. By the time they've sorted out the problems with Second Life 2, because there's going to be problems, let's face it, there's always problems whenever they bring something new out. But I've just got a feeling it's going to be a bit woke. It's going to be a little bit, what's the word? Tempered or weak, maybe. It's not going to be. It's going to be more constrained than what this one is. That's what I'm thinking it's going to be. Because let's face it, everything that comes out these days, technology-wise, seems to be worse than the previous version. I mean, look at Windows. It's got worse. People are sort of sick of it now because it's taking screenshots of everything you do on the computers, and people say, "Oh, I've had enough of this. I'm going to switch to Linux." A lot of people are doing that. They're actually going to Linux and other operating systems because they're sick of this Big Brother spyware and all that, which is built into Microsoft now. And it's kind of not surprising, really, that Bill Gates bailed and sold out. And here I was trying to teleport to a different location, and I ended up underground. So yeah, there's all these weird things. This is another pet peeve, is when you try to teleport to another part on the land and you end up underground, and the only way to get out of it is to teleport again, because you're trapped under the surface. You can't get above the surface. You can't get through the, you basically got to teleport your way out of situations. And anyway, so this video is all about my pet peeves. What's one of them? Is there any more pet peeves? I could think of probably half a dozen, but I'm really not going to waffle on about those right now. Apart from, obviously, I've told you about when you cross over sim lines, where they intersect, the two lines. If you cross over the intersection where two sims actually intersect, that is bad. That's when things go wrong. It's bad enough just crossing over one line, but if you cross over two lines at the same time, oh, yeah, you just gotta cross your fingers and, yeah. So, from my expectations, when you're driving a vehicle in Second Life, you're doing it because you want to feel the realism. You don't want to be encountering abnormal, non-realistic scenarios, because it's Twilight Zone. I mean, Twilight Zone is not supposed to be in Second Life, but it feels like it, because you find yourself in situations that should not be possible, basically. It's more like Star Trek, or when Scotty says, engine can't take it anymore, Captain." Basically, I'm feeling like that. Can't take it anymore sort of situation, because sometimes these things get you so riled up and so irritated when you're trying to do something, then you can't do it because it doesn't work the way it's supposed to work. And then other people say, "I've not had any problems, it never happens to me." How's that? Why is it happening to us? Why is it happening to me? Why is it happening to other people I know? But it's not happening to other people? I don't believe that. If people tell me it doesn't happen to them, I honestly don't believe that. I mean, I know loads of people who, they've got these warnings put up, warning sim crossing ahead. You don't put warnings up about sim crossings ahead if there's no problems with them, So anyway, I'm gonna go, because at the moment I cancelled fire practice tonight because another friend of mine had a problem with the van, but that was just a user error. We managed to get that sorted out. But there are things like that happen, it's just a question of getting accustomed to certain things. But yeah, so it's fine if you're just an avatar, you just want to walk around and dance and sing or play. That's all good. But it's when you want to travel, that's when problems happen. Oh, aircraft, that's a whole another ball of wax. It's another situation. You flying in your helicopter, another pet peeve. You're flying in your helicopter, or you're flying in a plane, and you cross a sim line into a region with ban lines. Ban lines is an area where you're not allowed to go. What happens to your aircraft? Well, you get stuck in midair. You can't move forwards. You can't move backwards. You can't do anything. Even if you edit your aircraft and you try to move it out of the band area onto a piece of sky where you can fly, your aircraft is no longer able to fly. It's been disabled. Basically, you're in the situation where I was in my van. You have to basically reset and start all over again. But you see, you don't even know where you're flying. When you're flying, you don't know that you're about to fly into a band as in band lines area until you hit them. There's no signs up in the sky saying warning band land area or something. I didn't see any. But I was flying my helicopter a few weeks ago, and all of a sudden it was bam, stuck. I couldn't move. Couldn't do anything. So, yeah, this is where it got me annoyed. I was trying to sit in my van after I re-resed it, and I was too far away. But that's no biggie. I can move. But sometimes there's a time limit. You've got maybe a couple of minutes before you got to get in. Otherwise, it gets zapped out again. That's another thing that annoys me. They don't give you enough time sometimes. Anyway, I'm waffling. I just wanted to do a video about pet peeves, and that's that's my pet peeves. Right, bye for now.